us, we can't afford to wait another year. We got to go now.
Tonight on your 5:30 News, a critical shortage of educators. How school districts across Montana are coming up with solutions to ensure kids receive a quality education. Plus,
I'm Cassidy Powers, and I'm going to tell you how the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation has filed a lawsuit against Crazy Mountain Ranch, claiming illegal water use is at hand.
And later, find out which county in Montana still boasts a 62-to-1 cow-to-person ratio. Your evening news starts now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, and thank you for trusting MTN with your 530 News. I'm Owen Skornik-Hayes. First this evening, we begin this evening with reports of shots fired in Great Falls. A large police presence was seen around noon on the 400 block of 3rd Avenue North. Witnesses say a gunshot was heard at 415 3rd Avenue North, and multiple officers arrived on scene. Sergeant Lynch with the GFPD was able to confirm police are investigating a domestic disturbance involving a discharged weapon. No reports on primary suspect at this time, and it appears nobody is injured. We'll update you if we receive more information. And last Monday, Governor Greg Gianforte and the Montana Department of Labor and Industry announced a new program looking to prevent the Montana teachers shortage. The program, expected to begin in 2026, comes from a $4 million grant from the federal government meant to recruit and certify teachers in rural populations. MTN's Matt Carmack has the story.
Montana is facing a shortage of educators.
So it's becoming more and more of a challenge.
An issue across the country.
For us, we can't afford to wait another year. We got to go now.
Because of that, the federal government launched the State Apprenticeship Expansion Formula, a 5-year, $80 million investment to expand the teacher workforce across rural communities.
A lot of times when new programs come out, they're really geared toward the very rural school districts who have even more of a challenging time than Billings to fill positions.
Well, that program will be coming to Montana in 2026, and it's one that Governor Greg Gianforte hopes will have long-term impacts. In a statement, Gianforte writes that preparing for the next generation of Montana teachers has been a top priority for his administration. He says through this investment, they're preparing future educators to better serve Montana students and families.
I've been here 6 years in various roles, and we've seen a steady decline in the number of applicants we have for our positions.
A similar process is beginning at Billings Public Schools called Billings Teach. It'll be here at the Lincoln Center, and it's founded by the Adult and Community Education Department.
Our goal is to try to get this first cohort done by the end of next summer, so that they're eligible to apply for jobs, open positions in our district starting in the fall.
Randy Russell, the executive director of the department, tells me this initiative will recruit existing staff members at Billings Public Schools who already have an associate's degree or 60 accredited hours.
We want to provide pathways for them to become a certified teacher, so kind of a grow your own program.
The program is currently accepting applicants for the year-long program until August 4th. Randy hopes Billings Teach will have long-term impacts on Billings Public Schools and Montana education as a whole.
You know, like I said, other districts are doing this, but this is a really unique opportunity for Billings to, be solution-oriented and help ourselves.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTU News.
Let's take a look at those weather headlines. Those shower and thunderstorm activity does continue through tonight and through tomorrow, with some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms possible tonight. Steady temperatures will continue through the week ahead, mainly in the upper 70s and the 80s. For most of the region. And then you can expect your low temperatures tonight down into the 50s and the 60s, with, again, chances of those showers and thunderstorms continuing through this evening and a little bit through the overnight hours too. But here's a look at your high temperatures tomorrow. We'll see some cloudy skies at first with some gradual clearing, 70 and 80 degree temperatures, and some of that clearing will actually help with instability that will produce some of those thunderstorms. Taking a look at that Doppler radar, you can see those thunderstorms beginning to build in that southwest corner, moving up northeast, and we'll also see some breezy to gusty winds along with that. There could be some hail, and again, some severe thunderstorms could produce that hail and some of those windy conditions. So keep that in mind as we head throughout tonight.
As many folks know, water rights are a big deal here in the Big Sky. As we previously reported, Crazy Mountain Ranch in Clyde Park is under fire for alleged illegal water use. As MTN's Cassidy Powers reports, a lawsuit has now been filed.
You may recall a story I told you about a month ago that had a lot to do with this stuff. Water. Over in Clyde Park, tensions rose as ranchers fought with Crazy Mountain Ranch over water use. Now, lawsuits have been filed.
Water's for fighting, whiskey's for drinking. You've heard that.
In early June, I spoke to ranchers in Clyde Park who shared their thoughts on Crazy Mountain Ranch's illegal water use.
When the rest of us have a project with the DNRC, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted before they'll even let us start. That wasn't the case with them. They had things well underway.
If you're unfamiliar with the story, Crazy Mountain Ranch, or CMR, was bought by Lone Mountain Land Company from Marlboro in 2021 to run a private membership experience featuring outdoor and mountain recreation, golf, lodging, and more. In 2024, the ranch began to irrigate their new 18-hole golf course, according to the state, without proper water rights. Irrigation continued in the 2025 season, angering local ranchers.
Basically, they said, well, no matter what, we're still going to water our golf course.
When I reached out to CMR in early June, they provided this statement. The Crazy Mountain Ranch is diligently managing its water rights through the administrative process and is confident that it will not negatively impact the water rights of neighboring landowners. 12 official formal complaints of illegal water use were filed to the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. On May 30th, Bob Boyd, a local rancher, was the first to file a complaint.
If we don't protect the resources that we have, they're going to go away.
June 26th, DNRC asked CMR to stop watering their golf course. On June 30th, CMR responded stating they would not. On July 11th, DNRC filed a cease and desist against Crazy Mountain Ranch over their golf course water use, stating any further irrigation may result in judicial enforcement, including a fine of $1,000 per day of each violation. I reached out to Crazy Mountain Ranch to gather their thoughts. A statement reads, CMR is working with DNRC to execute a consent order in which it will agree not to use its decreed water on the golf course. CMR has commenced trucking in water to irrigate its golf course. Reporting, Cassidy Powers, MTN News.
Coming up, animal shelters across America are at their limit. The facilities no longer viable options for rescues. How they're coping after the break.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. Animal shelters across the country are reporting being at capacity and an influx of surrenders and strays. The Scripps News Group's Holly Furfer takes a look at the issue.
Overflowing, at capacity, out of space. Those are words many animal shelter and rescue operators are using to describe the current state of affairs across the country. It's a trend we noticed across the Scripps News Group.
We thought we hit the end of the COVID folks who got dogs dumping them. But this is something like we've never seen before.
Dumped, surrendered, abandoned.
It's day by day and more, probably it's hour by hour, really, with our space.
Dogs and cats are flowing into pet facilities across the country faster than most can keep up. For the first time in its 30-year history, the Animal Care Centers of New York City this week suspended intakes due to critical capacity issues with more than 1,000 animals in their care. Nearly 6 million dogs and cats and other household pets are surrendered to shelters every year. Sadly, only a little more than 4 million find homes. It's a disparity the Harford County Humane Society in the Baltimore area knows all too well.
In the first 4 months of this year, we've taken in 417 dogs. 302 have gotten adopted, which is great, but it's just a drain on all of our resources.
Increasing inflation and owning a pet are major factors for owners. That's why many shelters, including the Nebraska Humane Society in Omaha, have adapted, offering free or reduced food and medical care.
We've been doing it for over 10 years now, but it's really ramped up in the past 2 years.
Another factor, unintentional breeding. In San Francisco, where shelters are also strained, the director of Animal Care and Control says nationwide spaying and neutering is behind by 2 million animals.
Services year to date, we've taken in 300 more cats and 150 more dogs than this time last year.
An animal cruelty case or puppy mill bust can also change the status of a shelter from full to overflowing in a blink. The Scripps News Group has covered cases in the last few weeks in the Baltimore and Nashville areas.
You know, it's like we basically got a shelter full of animals in one day.
In fact, 25% of dogs in shelters are purebreds. That's according to the World Animal Foundation. Another major recent factor, natural disasters like Texas flooding and tornadoes in Kentucky. Shelters across the country are stepping up to help.
I mean, these shelters were already full before the floods started. And so our ability to take animals who were in need of placement anyway, move them to out-of-state rescues, and then make more room for animals in need both here and at the Hill Country shelters has been imperative to our life-saving efforts.
Shelters coast to coast are offering discounted adoption events to try and make space. Some are also having to euthanize for things they otherwise could have addressed, like medical and behavioral issues. In the end, more people are needed to adopt or foster.
Even if someone could just take a pet for a weekend, for an overnight sleepover, it gets them out of the kennel. That's really wonderful for them and their mental health, but it also means that we can free up that kennel space for another animal who would need it.
But sometimes even sharing a social media post about an animal in need of adoption can pay off, like it did for Kane in Niagara Falls. He recently found his forever home after nearly 2 years in a shelter.
We would rather rescue. We're
Yes.
rescue people.
Holly Furfer, Scripps News Group.
We have some continued shower and thunderstorm activity through this evening and through tomorrow with some steady 80-degree temperatures. I'll give you a full look at your forecast coming up.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Brianna Juneau.
Welcome back. Taking a look at your Great Falls Connect iCam, we are seeing a nice storm rolling through. We are going to see some more chances of shower and thunderstorm activity tonight for most of the region. And currently those temperatures are around 79 degrees with a southeasterly breeze of 10 miles per hour. Feeling like 79 degrees over in the Helena Opportunity Bank of Montana weather cam. You can also see those cloudy skies and some of those storms that are still trying to make their way through. Right now they are in central Montana moving up northeast, and then we'll continue to see that activity through tonight. But 75-degree temperatures for that Helena area. Let's take a look at your weather headlines. You can expect, again, that activity to continue tonight. There could be some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow, with some of those temperatures still remaining steady into the 70s and through the 80s, excuse me. Here's a look at your current temperatures. We are seeing them into the 70s and the 80s. It is a nice day. Actually, those showers and thunderstorms will actually be good for some of that moisture that we need because it has been pretty dry. But overall, very nice day. If you are going to the fair tonight in any areas, then just expect that there might be a shower or a thunderstorm that might briefly roll in. But here's a look at your upper level patterns. We do have an upper level ridge that's taking control of the area, which is bringing in those warm temperatures, and there's enough instability with wind shear and things like that to create some of those showers and those thunderstorms through tonight and tomorrow. There's some isolated risk for thunderstorms over in central and eastern portions of the state. Tomorrow we'll see some more scattered risk for those thunderstorms, especially as we start to see some clearing skies, which will increase some of that instability for tomorrow. But here's a look at your future track. You can expect some cloudy skies tonight with that system moving through, a bit more widespread than what we saw yesterday, and some of those thunderstorms making their way up into that northeastern corner of the state. That will continue through well early tomorrow morning. Though we'll start off the day with some cloudy skies, lightening up as we head through the afternoon, but increasing again as we head into the evening, which will produce another round of those showers and thunderstorms, pushing a little bit more into that eastern corner instead of the northeastern corner. And there will be some more, again, chances of those possible severe thunderstorms. But here's a look at your wind gust tracker. For the most part, these winds are going to remain on the lighter side, 5 to 10 miles per hour, with those gusts up to 20 miles per hour. At times, we could see those wind gusts pushing up to 40 miles per hour, especially over in that eastern portion of the state. But other than that, it's going to be pretty nice. And if you do get caught in some of those thunderstorms, some of those wind gusts could produce some gusts up to 50 miles per hour. But here's a look at your low temperatures for tonight. Nice mild night. Again, most of those showers and thunderstorms will begin to move up northeast. So that Helena area by around 10 p.m. through midnight will begin to actually see some drier conditions once those move through. Mostly cloudy skies, showers and thunderstorms moving up And then we'll see those high temperatures tomorrow right back up into the 70s and the 80s. Again, starting off on a cloudier note. Seeing that sun come out a little bit for some partly cloudy skies, maybe even some mostly sunny skies in some areas before those clouds increase towards the evening, along with those shower and thunderstorm chances. Taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast, those temperatures remain into the 80s through this week, which is slightly below to around average for this time of year, but we do have some more increasing moisture as we head through next weekend.